SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week.
Yeah.
It seemed like he made a pretty big difference when he was in there.
Yeah, no, I think it's always a big difference when he's in there. I think just his leadership, and I think it's always been, from preseason to when I've been here, he's always been a leader, not just on the field, but as a whole group. I think it's just different having him around the leader. The kids look up to him, and that's a great thing to have him on the field in the locker room where he is.
I know you and Dan have both said a lot that he's a leader. He kind of brings guys up on the field when he's out there. Is it vocal? Is he exhorting guys, or is it just sort of the knowledge that he's out there?
When he walks through and comes in, you're going to get the same feeling. There's a smile on his face. Those kids, there's never a dull moment with him. He's got a smile on his face. He's happy. He's positive about everything he does. So it's no matter where it is. When he walks in here today, it's going to be the same way. You just get a vibe from him that's not every kid has. It's great to have him on the field. It's great to have him on the sidelines. It's no different. When he kind of rolled up and got when he got rolled up, which I think was more frightening for him than it was anything else, was that all those offensive linemen sit there and go, "What's wrong?" I mean, you got Arcito Clark walking up saying, "Hey, what's wrong with Tobias?" He's an infectious kid in a positive way, which is the greatest thing going.
He graded out, I think, 95%.
Yeah, I think 93 because he lost. He lost with the group, so I think Gabe was 1% higher than him, so he was a little upset about it.
Oh, it was a 93.
Yeah, still somewhere in that range.
But how common is it for a guy to grade that high?
Yeah, again, I think it's one thing is. We had a couple. I think Gabe was about 90. I think Gabe was whatever he was one higher because they listened to them argue about it yesterday. At dinner, they're fighting over who's got more because they get more dessert than the other one. But I think the biggest thing is it's not. I think it's as a whole group they played very well. There's very few things. There's a couple here and there, but I think as a group they played well. I think it's you see the maturity. We got to keep getting better. There's still a long ways for us to go, but I think you sit there and say, as a group, they took a lot of ownership in what we had to do in the game plan that was in, and that knowing what was going to happen in communication. I think that's the biggest thing they did Saturday was they communicated from start to finish on everything we saw.
When you came in there in the fourth quarter, very first play, guys run right, get 20 yards on it. Was that, I guess not.
I don't remember that.
Okay. You guys have not been running the ball well, they got 20 yards. How much did that kind of help the offensive line when Tobias got back out there?
I don't know if it helped more. Again, he's an infectious kid that way, being positive. I don't know the exact play that it was when he went back in. But I think it's the same thing. Tyler did a great job throwing the ball. He was good protection for the most part all night. So I think to run the ball was something we had to do, we want to do. But to me, when Tyler's got a hot hand like that, just keep playing those cards before you play anything else.
I saw Justin around town Sunday. He just said, some people walked up to me and said, "I've never been more nervous in my entire life." And he says, "I don't know how Tobias does it. Keep his heart rate the way he does."
5 years.
That's just veteran leadership.
5 years. And I was laughing today. I was talking about today, and everyone looks at Gabe now because it's 3 years later, 4 years later. Gabe had those same deer in headlight looks 3 years ago. Blaine had him last year. Dylan had him last year. They've all gone through and. Gabe's first year, his first game he played in was Auburn versus the Fairleigh kid. Right. And he came off the sideline like a deer in headlights. Looked at me like, "What is this all about?" So it's not a first time it's happened. It's every kid going as a freshman their first starts, and it still happens to older guys when they get to the game and it becomes a tighter game that they still have that look. And you just got to get over it. And once they get that first play, it gets over. I think he's still going through a lot of that stuff. That's a lot of things that Dylan and Gabe and Tobias are doing a great job trying to help him. You can only do so much to calm his nerves. He's still going to do it himself. But I think that's one thing Tobias does. And on the sidelines talking to him. Tobias on the sidelines last night with Justin. He still came back up and talked to him every series of, "You're fine. Here's what you're doing." Helping him through just to ease his heart rate.